On this episode of I've got a track day coming up and I don't know what the heck I'm doing, I'm going to be going over all the different gear, campsite supplies, everything that I believe that I need to be bringing. I've got it nailed down to, I believe, a couple categories: riding gear, clothes, spare parts, and other. Electronics, consumables, tools, food and drink, campsite, and miscellaneous. Could probably do a better video of this afterwards, but I'm going to try to lay it all out for somebody who might be like me, who doesn't know what they're doing, and see if I can cover everything that I think I need inside of this. So let's get into it. Let's take a look. All right, so for riding gear, what I've got is I bought these Sedici boots. These were like 150, 160 bucks. I'm super impressed with these things so far. I've had boots in the past, never liked them, could never even get the things to zip. These things have been a super pleasant surprise. They were a budget set of boots, and I've been really happy with them. I got my helmet with a smoked visor on it. I do not like this helmet, and there's a very good chance I crack and end up buying a new helmet in the next couple days. But for now, I'm riding with this helmet, and I'm bringing a spare shield. I should probably clean up both these, both the shields, clean up all the bugs off of them. But I'm bringing both because I don't know which one I'm going to end up preferring. I've got this force field body armor back protector. This thing, I really do like this. This was like 180 bucks, I think. This fits underneath my jacket over there. I've been riding around with this thing. It just makes me feel more secure. The reviews on this thing were all really good. That this thing, it's one of the better back protectors you can buy if you're getting into this. So I've been happy with it so far. Something I don't want to forget when I go is earplugs. I got this 60 pack on Amazon, pretty cheap. I actually bought it when I started doing some moto camping last year, and it's really nice to ride with earplugs in. And I've heard it's more important at the track, but quite frankly, it's just really nice to ride. I haven't been wearing them a ton since I'm still trying to learn the bike, learn all the noises and whatnot, but you hear different noises because this doesn't cancel all the noise out. It cancels different pitches out, so you actually hear different things when you've got earplugs in. So it's been important to go out a couple times with the earplugs on and just trying to, hear the differences between when you have them in and when you don't. Full gauntlet style gloves. These are the Alpine Stars. I think they're called GP Plus, GP Pro Plus, GP something Plus. I do not like wearing these full gauntlet gloves. I understand why I have to, and it's a requirement that I have these. They're formed, and these fit me actually. I mean, they probably couldn't fit me any better. They've got the ring finger and the pinky tied together. That's to keep your pinky finger from breaking away, because I guess that's a fairly common thing where you can break your pinky finger that way, and so they're stuck together. And that's not a big issue on my brake hand. On my clutch hand, however, this is driving me insane. I'm so close to just cutting this because I normally clutch with 3 fingers, and I have small hands, so yeah, I know a lot of people do it with 2. I want to do it with 3, and I can't do it with this. It's driving me insane, but I think it's just something I got to get used to. I lose so much feel on those. I bought these Icon, what are these called? Overlords. At the same time, I've never had a nicer pair of gloves. I have so much touch inside of these. I have lost so much in those, but that's the regulations, so that's what it is. The big one, I put 400 bucks into this RST, R Sport, something like that. So it's a very budget level full piece suit. However, this seems like it's going to be a pretty good. It's probably going to be equivalent or better than a rental that I'll end up getting. You don't realize how heavy one of these things is until you put them on, and you feel like a goddamn Power Ranger when you're wearing it, but you'll know you're wearing it. I took the back protector out of it because I'm going to be wearing my own. This thing fits really well inside of here. It's a strange feeling when you're in this because it's not comfortable when you're standing up, and once you get into the crowd, it's just like, oh, that's exactly where it's supposed to be. And then the last thing of the gear I'm going to be riding with, I saw this recommendation, probably on Reddit, these Athleo base layers. So I've got a top and a bottom. I've seen a lot of people prefer the one piece. For some reason, I was thinking I didn't want to do the one piece, and I just went out for about an hour tonight. I went out to try these out because I don't want to do anything for the first time when I'm at the track, and these things worked really well. So that's it for my riding gear. We're gonna move to clothes, and I'm not even gonna bother bringing them out because you guys know what all these things look like. I showed you the
base layers. Got to bring extra socks. I've got a special type of zeal wool socks that I like to wear. Sunglasses, hat, t-shirt, short, jeans, towels. I want to bring 2 towels. One, because I'm told if it's warm, I might end up soaking one towel and throwing it over myself, because that's a really good way to cool yourself down. I've heard if you can cool down your feet, hands, and head, that's the easiest way to cool yourself down. Wear a hoodie. I saw it might be in the 50s on the day that I go there in the morning and then at the night, so might want to just have it. Boxers and tennis shoes. Jumping onto the bike parts and related section, I've got the spare foot pegs that came with the bike. I was looking through some old parts from the guy who sold me the bike, and I found these, so that's great. I actually found a spare key in there as well, so if I forget the primary key, I at least gonna have this one buried with me. So I've heard don't forget your key, because that's gonna make for a bad day. Spare clutch lever. Again, if I go down, I'm probably gonna be done for the day anyway, but it's not going to hurt to have it with me. I wrote down spare brake. I don't have time to find a spare brake. Not time, but shipping wise, I didn't have time to find a spare brake lever. I'm bringing a spare oil filter because I put a K&N one on there, and the K&N one has a nut on the top, and I actually bought that one because you can safety wire through it if the regulations called for safety wiring. I've also heard now that some organizations ban the K&N ones because they have a tendency to leak on the track. The reason they have a tendency is because people put them on and torque them with that nut on there, and you're not supposed to do that. That nut on the top is only supposed to help take it off. So in case my day is about to get stopped because they say, oh, you can't have that K&N filter, I've got this high flow filter, which, believe it or not, I also believe is owned by K&N. It's probably the exact same thing without the nut on the top. So I just don't want something silly like this to ruin my day. Plus, I mean, I'll just use this next time that I change the oil. Rear stand. This one came with the bike. This pit bull stand. This thing's really, really freaking nice. If you don't have one of these things, you can get the Harbor Freight one that just kind of fits to it, which is what I've been using for like 8 years now. But this one's really nice. I'm bringing it primarily because I'm still kind of wishy-washy on where my chain tension is, and if they tell me that I got to change my chain tension, I got to get that rear tire off the ground, and the rear stand's the easiest way to do it. Lastly, I bought this. I kind of had a little panic attack because I'm not 100% certain how I'm going to deal with not having a kickstand. So the regulations say I have to have the kickstand either removed or tied up. So essentially, if I'm likely going to be doing this by myself, there's a chance I might sneak, if I can convince one of my friends to go. I got one of them. I got one for Road America. I don't know if I got anybody for my first go at Blackhawk Farms. So anyway, this Baxley wheel chalk is awesome. You basically just drive right up onto this thing, and there's no chance that I'm going to be able to drop it, because I will drop it if I have to just rely on throwing this thing on the rear stand. So that is my riding gear and accessories. There's probably, I bet you, once you own a bike for a while and you start going through this, you start accumulating spare parts. You might have spare clip-ons, you got all the spare levers, you got spare foot pegs, you got everything. I don't have that now. I'm just bringing what I do have, and then the one thing I bought, which I was able to find, was this clutch lever. And now we are on to the electronics. I am going to be bringing my Ryobi inflator. This way I can change my tire pressure on it. I like this thing. I don't get accurate readings out of it, but it will put air into a tire, and I will be able to check the tire pressure. Otherwise, I'm bringing a radio, and I can plug my phone into this thing. I have 2 lithium-ion batteries from Ryobi charged up. I'm kind of wishing I didn't give my third one away to my aunt a couple months ago, but I did. I think this is just going to be fine. I've read that you should bring a fan. Reason being, you can dry out your helmet in between sessions, stuff like that. I literally have never used this fan outside of drying picture frames or different woodworking projects I've ever used, and there's a 99% chance I'm not going to bring it because I don't think it's going to get over 75, but I have it just in case I need it. I have a energy bank so I can continue to charge my phone, GoPro, that kind of thing. I've also got this jump starter, which can actually satisfy that same purpose as this thing. You can charge USB devices off it, but in case my battery dies and I gotta jump start this thing somehow, this thing has saved my ass in the past. You can get 1 or 2 starts off of this thing, and it It's saved my ass before. I have it, and it would be stupid not to use it. I also have a USB-C and a USB micro cable in there. I'm also going to be bringing my GoPro, and there's a very good chance I'm not going to record a single thing while I am on the track. Main thing is because, again, I'm going with MotoVid. That's the organization that's putting on the track day, and I can't find any regulations about what I need to do for it. There's also several other reasons why. I have a smoked screen, so I can't mount it behind it because you can't see anything on it. I would really like video, if just for me, so I can look at what I'm doing. Thing is, I can't figure out a good way to mount it. I took some video earlier tonight. I mounted it on the on the frame slider. I mean, it's interesting. It's a cool action shot kind of thing, but it's not really that useful. All right, so moving on to consumables. What I've got here is 3 different types of tape. I've got painter's tape for taping up the lights, turn signals, etc. I've got this really good duct tape for, well, who knows what, but the main reason is for taping up wheel weights. And then I've got a couple rolls of this electrical tape. Really hope I don't have to do anything with that. So don't expect to have to use it, but it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. I've got my 80 weight gear lube, and that's because I kind of switched over after watching that Fortnite video about chain lube maintenance and whatnot, and this is basically what I lube my chain with now. I never know when I'm going to need my full synthetic Thickle Valvoline grease. I use that stuff all over the place. Gonna bring the remainder of the brake fluid. I did just bleed the brakes on the bike, but in case there's an issue with the levels or something like that, it won't hurt to have the remainder of it. I've got some carb cleaner. I usually bring starter fluid. I've actually preferred starter fluid for cleaning up stuff for the most part, but this is my most full can, so I am going to be bringing that. I'm also going to be bringing a little bit of Shell Rotella T6. That's what's in the bike now, and in case I do have to flip around that oil filter, and in case, I don't know, I lose a bunch of oil or something, I've got some that I can fill the thing back up. I wrote down Windex. I can't find my Windex, so I'm bringing this multi-purpose cleaner. The only reason I'm really bringing this is to clean off the windshield, and in all likelihood I'm just going to use water. That's why I have this microfiber towel as well. I've got a whole bunch of zip ties, 2 different sizes, just because who knows. I've got thread locker just in case. Got a brand new thing of shop towels. I use way too many of these things. I probably contribute too much to pollution because of the amount of shop towels that I use, but I have lots of them. This is the kerosene that I found. I need to find a spray container for it, but I've been cleaning my chain with kerosene. That's why I have it. I probably don't need to clean the chain when I'm at the track. I will clean it beforehand, so whether or not I actually bring any of this, I'm not certain. And I've just got a whole bunch of things of distilled water. I never know if I'm going to need it. If I got space, I will bring it. If not, I should probably just, again, find a little container I can shoot some of that out of. Spare bolt kit. I really like just having this thing. I always just throw spare bolts in here. I bought this originally, and then when I take a bolt off and it's a good bolt still, I end up throwing it in there, and this thing has saved my ass quite a few times, and who knows when I'm going to need a bolt. And then I've got a new pack of crush washers and cotter pins. These were both real cheap, good to have. This will probably last me forever, so good to have them. All right, so the next category I've got here is tools, and I have no idea if I'm over-prepared or under-prepared, but this is what I'm going to be bringing. Number 1 on my list is the climber's manual for this thing. I'm not very familiar with this bike yet, so I want to be able to have this with me. I'm going to be bringing a 3/8 breaker bar and a 3/8 torque wrench. I will have a multimeter with me, and just because I have it and it's a lot of fun, and if I do convince somebody to come with me, I could probably entertain them for quite a while with this pyrometer. So I'm going to be bringing the pyrometer. Also a flashlight, probably won't need it, but I'm bringing the flashlight. I've got a set of hex wrenches. I've got a chain cleaning brush. Hopefully I don't need to use this thing, but I've got a drip pan and a funnel and I'm kind of a little bit embarrassed about this. I haven't even opened it yet because nothing with the MotoVid says I have to safety wire anything, because I'm a novice, and I think they want to bring novices to the track and they don't require them to do any of this stuff, and I should really learn how to do this. I've got my safety wiring box. I've got a jig. Obviously I'm not going to be able to use that at a track, but I've got all the stuff for safety wiring, and 100% I am going to have to figure out how to safety wire up the kickstand, so I will figure that out very soon. And if just in case they tell me I have to safety wire anything else up, I did buy some of these diaper clips from Curvy Girl and whatnot, so I've got it. I just haven't committed the time to learning how to do it yet. I've got an air pressure gauge, so I've got the inflator, so I'll be able to get some pretty good measurements out of this thing, figure it out. I'm told take your measurement right at the beginning of the day when it's cold, etc. I don't know where my measurements are supposed to be right now. I think I'm just going to start it at 30/30. I'm on Metzler 7RR tires. Just going to start at 30/30 because I'm probably going to be going so slow it's not even going to matter, so it doesn't even, it is what it is. Extra length of hose. This is, I've actually got like 700 feet of this because this was a manufacturing defect, not because the hose is wrong, but it's just slightly too small to accept. This is actually for industrial painting, and it's actually just slightly too small to accept the connection, so I took an entire spool of it. And who knows if I got to be transferring something or whatnot, so not a bad idea to have a bunch of extra hose. I will be bringing a full set of metric wrenches. I got my JAS screwdriver, got some standard screwdrivers, got a scissors, got a vice grips, got a needle nose, and I got a side cutter, so 100% I'm going to need this for the twist ties that are put on there. I'm going to bring a soft hammer. I don't think I need to bring a hard hammer, but who knows. And then this blasphemous piece here. Never want to use an adjustable wrench like this, but in a pinch, it's not the worst thing to have, so I have it. And then my big old cluster of socket set, which has apparently started running all over the place. So mainly I've got all the metric stuff, different extensions, wobbles and whatnot. So that should be good for the tools, I'm hoping. I don't know if this is good or bad. This might be way too much or not even close to enough. All right, next category is food. Two things that aren't shown. 40 pounds of ice. I'm gonna bring 2 coolers and I'm gonna put 20 pounds of ice in each one. Obviously don't have the ice yet. The other thing is I'm gonna go to Cousin Subs because those things hold the best overnight and they just don't get all nasty. And I'm gonna bring 2 subs for myself, and if somebody else is gonna be coming, I'm gonna grab 2 subs for them. Got a whole bunch of Gatorade and whatnot. Again, I probably got way too much, but I'm kind of hoping somebody else comes, but they may not, so want to have stuff for them. I bought 4 of these different coconut things because it was on one of the lists that somebody wrote, and I remember, I think I've tried coconut water once, and I think it's disgusting as fuck, so I think I'll probably throw those away, but I bought them just in case. Got a thing of trail mix. I don't know why I bought these. I think it's because I got a thing of cheese or so. Again, I bought it because if somebody else is coming with me, I want to have something for them to eat. Got a thing of peanuts. And then the biggest issue I'm going to have is that my track day's on Sunday and it's Thursday right now. And I got to go to bed every night knowing this bag of Dots pretzels is in my house and I can't open it yet. This stuff is like crack and these are the best ever. And they also have an added benefit of having a shitload of salt in them. And I'm pretty sure I want a lot of salt in me if I'm going to be sweating a whole bunch of stuff out. So really looking forward to the Dots' pretzels. And I got a case of water. That I got here is my miscellaneous. The first thing, and I'm worried about it, is I cannot find my first aid kit anywhere in this house. I've looked all over the damn place, and that first aid kit has saved my buddies and I once when a friend on a motor camping trip ended up burning himself, and we had gauze and whatnot able to put it on it. So I'm not a big one on always having all that first aid stuff, but I wish I knew where that was, and I don't have enough time to get another one, so I'll put a makeshift one together, and I'm going to print out some track maps to have with me. I got my notebook and my pen. I've got sunscreen. I've got this wet wipes thing that well, because all my friends have kids now and they have like just tons of wet wipes, they just throw them at me when I'm leaving their house like a party gift or something. So I don't know, I've got a thing of wet wipes. I got to bring my wallet and make sure that I have my health insurance and my driver's insurance for the bike inside of it. And I'm gonna bring some extra cash. I don't know why I wrote spark plugs, because there's no way I'm gonna be changing a spark plug on the side. And I probably should bring my wheel weights. So that is my list of all the things that I'm bringing for everybody that just says to show up at a track day and send it, and that's it. It sure seems like there's a whole lot more to it. Maybe you've got all your shit packed already, and you don't have to think about this, but this is what I'm thinking about right now as somebody that has no idea what the fuck they're doing. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching.
As a conclusion to this video, I'm shooting this after I've had the track day. I absolutely overpacked. My packing list would have been a lot more on par with somebody who is actually camping the night there. I didn't end up using a lot of the stuff I brought. Now, I don't think I overpacked on tools, despite never touching a single tool the entire time I was there, outside of some side cutters to cut up some zip ties. The camping stuff's like bringing a thing of coffee, bringing football. I probably didn't even need 3 ramps. There were people there to help me out. I didn't need all 3 of those things. So I could have gone a lot lighter on a lot of the packing. One thing I did need that I didn't have, I didn't need it, but somebody next to me was looking for a 32mm socket. I had the big sockets that I just recently bought in my hand, but I had tightened up the steering nut, which is the reason I bought them, and I knew I wouldn't have to touch that thing. The only reason I'd have to touch that thing is, you know, if I had something real bad happen and my day was over anyway. So I'll probably prioritize more tools over the nonsense kind of camping stuff. I didn't mention in the video that you should bring weights to tie down your pop-up tent with. There were crazy ass winds, and if I wouldn't have seen somebody's video, I was just going through and watching Black Hawk Farms videos of people riding. I watched, and some dude had cinder blocks hanging from his tent, and it hit me at like 10 p.m. that night. Go throw 45 and 35 pound weights into your bag, and it came in so clutch because the winds were nuts. Anyway, yeah, I overpacked, but it is what it is.